Hello and welcome to day 20 of 24 recipes until Christmas. Today we are making Rabanadas, which is Portuguese French toast. It is a quick and simple recipe to put together, and all you need for it are ingredients you probably already have at home. We're gonna need some day-old bread. I have this is almost like a French loaf, maybe a bit thinner. We're only gonna use half of it for this recipe. The other half I'm going to cut into slices and freeze, and then we're gonna make Rabanadas Christmas Eve. We're also gonna need some milk, eggs. We're also gonna need some sugar, cinnamon sticks, and lemon rind. We're also going to make a syrup to put over it to serve on the side. And for that, we're gonna need some honey, sugar, cinnamon sticks, and orange peels, and some port wine. We're also gonna need some cinnamon and sugar at the end for us to dust our bread in. And of course, oil for frying. So let's get into this recipe. Bora cozinhar. We're gonna get started with our milk. We wanna warm up our milk a little bit. And in the milk, we are going to drop our cinnamon sticks, our lemon peels, and sugar. And we're gonna bring that to a simmer a little bit. What we're doing is we're flavoring the milk. So let's go ahead and do that. We're also gonna get started on our syrup. And for that, all we're going to need is water. We're gonna add to it our cinnamon sticks and our orange rind, our sugar, the port wine, and a tablespoon of honey, which I don't think I mentioned. We're gonna add in a tablespoon of honey, and we're gonna bring that to a simmer as well. While we have that going, we're gonna go ahead and slice our bread. And like I said, I'm only gonna use half of it. And you need day-old bread for this recipe. So we're gonna use this part here, and this part I'm gonna reserve for another time. I'm gonna slice it and put it in the freezer, and then I can just pull it out a few hours before and then make more rabanadas. So this bread, we wanna slice into not very thin and not very thick slices. We want our slices to be like so. And as you can hear, my bread is, it's yesterday's bread, but it's quite dry, and that's exactly what you want because you need it to soak up the milk and the eggs. So we have our warm milk, and it's infused with the cinnamon and the lemon slices, and it smells like pastel de nata. So now what we want to do is I'm going to pour it into this dish. We're going to now strain it into this dish. It's beautifully fragrant. It smells amazing. So I already have my oil heating, and I'm going to prep my eggs. So for my eggs, I'm just gonna crack them into this dish. And we just wanna whisk our eggs. So we are ready to start frying our rabanadas, and I'm gonna put the bread in the milk so it can start soaking up the milk. And you don't want the bread too wet with milk. I don't know if that makes any sense, because you need to be able to pick it up and you don't want it to fall apart. But it should, I mean, the bread is pretty dry, so it should soak up the milk fairly quickly. So I'm gonna give them a turn after they've been soaking for a bit. And I can tell they're ready to go in the egg because they've soaked up quite a bit of milk. So let's go over here. Okay, and now we are going to dip them in the milk and then put them in our pan. And our pan is hot. So just a quick dip. You can tell the oil is hot. You don't want to have the oil too hot, And once they are golden brown, we can flip them. There you are. Look how beautiful they are. Nicely puffed up too. I'm not sure if you can tell. So the bread has soaked up all the milk. We're just waiting in queue. This one is actually already falling apart. So you got to be careful because they're going to become a bit soft. So when they have a nice golden color on both sides, we can transfer them to, I have a cookie sheet over here. So when we have a few fried and now they're not as hot anymore, we can cover them with our cinnamon sugar mixture, just lightly, and put it on our tray. Our rabanadas are ready and we have our syrup here. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to strain it out. You have two options. You can leave it on the side and then people can just help themselves to the syrup. Depending on where you're from in Portugal, you actually pour the syrup over all the rabanadas and just let the rabanadas sit in that syrup and soak it up. Here at my place, we just like to serve it on the side because some people just don't like the syrup. Now comes the most difficult part. Let's taste our rabanadas. So I put some syrup over the rabanadas, and these little pieces are just the ones that, because the bread gets so soaked in the milk, some of them might break away. It's delicious. So here's another great suggestion for your Christmas table. Rabanadas, so easy and quick to put together and delicious. This is very traditional to have Christmas Eve. Guaranteed in most Portuguese homes it's served. The leftovers can just sit out overnight. Usually we just cover them and leave them on our Christmas table with all the other delicious desserts, the bolche and the filhos and the cookies and the rabanadas and the cuscurões. That can all stay out overnight. And then the next morning, you're left with this delicious syrup that's created from the sugar and cinnamon. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Let me know if you make it. And remember, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I put out my next recipe. And guys, can you believe we're 4 days away from Christmas Eve? So hope to see you again soon, and thanks for watching.
When the sleigh blows cold, I hit the road.